Hey yo, it's me, Naris, you know, the leader of the new school, the queen of everybody's mood board, and you know, the authority of this village that I'm building. Because, something I would say is that, some of us might have been born into some villages that just weren't nutritious enough for our well beings. And in those experiences, we realize that we have to raise ourselves and rebuild something beautiful in our lives. And sometimes that involves creating a village of your own. So that's what this is. Now, um, I don't know if you can hear, but I just put out new music and I'm really excited about it. And for those who've been watching my live streams for a long time now, um, it's music that you've already heard since earlier this year, since around like towards the middle of the summer. And you guys have probably seen me like working on beats, recording music, doing vocals and stuff like that. And right now I have two new songs on SoundCloud. Gotta love the people who pop in just as I happen to glance away. What a coincidence. But welcome. But only if your energy and your vibe is right. Um, but anyway, so anybody who's been watching my live streams for since like the summertime, it's probably music that you've heard. Or if my life were anything like the Truman Show, you've probably heard these songs without my consent or permission, but whatever. Um, only if my life were like the Truman Show. But this is all for entertainment hypotheticals, of course. But anyway, I have two songs on SoundCloud. One is called Correspondence, which is playing right now. And the other one is called Breaking Out the House. It was originally called Bringing Down the House or Taking Down the House. And all of that energy is there anyway. Um, but it's called Breaking Out the House. It's on SoundCloud right now. I'm in the process of getting it on other platforms like social media and DSPs and stuff like that. But being that SoundCloud is like the easiest way to just upload and put your music out there, I released it on that platform and I'm really proud. I'm really excited. Yeah, I put out two songs because, I was listening to music on my SoundCloud and a lot of it is kind of like a real chill vibe. um, at most, there's like some mid-tempo stuff, and I wanted something upbeat. I wanted something fun. I wanted something that you could like vibe to, but then also with the lyrical context of it being like uplifting and positive and inspirational for the most part. Um, And so with correspondence, it's basically about like, some of us dealing with situations and circumstances and people who try to like talk us out of our dreams and saying like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna let my light shine anyway. I'm gonna, go for my goals and my dreams. Like I know I'm a good person. I know I mean well. And I know God knows that and I'm worth it. Like I'm worth that fight. I'm worth that desire to fight for my dreams just like anybody else, you know? And I know there's people who struggle with that. And I feel like we're in a day and age where it's like we're so like it's ingrained in us to like speak in code and have to force people to read between the lines and not be truthful about our experiences or truthful about what's really bothering us. And I mean, I'm even I even struggle with that myself just because like I deal with so much, and oftentimes like I've already had seasons of feeling like depressed and anxious and insecure and all those things. And it's not like I feel that way about life despite how challenging some things may be. Um but I do, there's times where I feel frustrated and irritated and and just like I don't what's the word? There's like just a specific word to describe what I mean. But basically, like, like sometimes when you're I mean, even people who are confident, it's not even just people who um are just like maybe struggle with depression and anxiety. Maybe you're somebody that's confident and you believe in yourself. And then you have some moments where you're just like doubtful, or you feel like, damn, can I really do this? Like, am I really am I good enough? And this song is basically like a reminder, like, nah, I'm worthy. I'm worthy of success. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of telling my truth. And I'm worthy of expressing my creativity. I have these gifts and I have these talents. And I know there's people there's people who have these gifts and talents that use it banefully. And there's people who don't have gifts and talents and just out here thriving. And I'm like, all right, if there's people who are okay and mediocre that are like doing well, and there's people who are talented but are misusing their talents, then I know that there's a space for me in this world where I can create songs with positive messages that can be received well. And I know that there's an audience for it, and there's a people out there who want to see me do well and who believe in me and who support what I have going on, and know that the music is good and it resonates with them. So this song was a reminder of that, and a declaration like, man, these people out here would try to like stop you from reaching your goals and your dreams and try to pigeonhole you and label you out to be this thing. And then it's like, nah, man, fuck that. I'm worth fighting for my dreams. My dreams are worth it. I know I'm a good person. I know I have a good heart. The fact that I even care to write songs like this says a lot. Like I could be the type of person, and it's no shade. It's no shade at all. Like there was a point in my youth where like I listened to a lot of Eminem, and Eminem's like a legend, one of the greatest out here. But let's be real. Like them first few albums, this nigga was talking crazy on these records. Like he talking about like often his moms and like his baby moms and all of this shit. Like just crazy shit. Like the lyrical like acrobatics were amazing, like the skills. But I'm like the context of the song is pretty dark. You know what I mean? And I will listen to it because like that's what my brother was listening to, and I like at the time was getting a lot of my musical inspirations from him. And don't get me wrong, that's not like the only type of music that Eminem has. Like he even has like some inspirational stuff too in woven in there. But you know what I mean? Like anybody who's at least like like Lose Yourself, like one of his biggest records, and it's a low key like inspirational kind of song. But you get what I'm saying. Like I couldn't write a song like him. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be intentional about what I say and how it can, transpire in the ethers. You know what I mean? And even in moments where I'm frustrated and I want to say, like, fuck that motherfucker, and like the craziest shit, I rather make a song that's on the inspirational side. I could be someone that could just really be going off on record, but I choose not to. And I think that's like I think that that's it that says a lot, and and means something. And not just because it's like the more noble thing to do, but just because like that's what feels authentic to me. Like I'm excited about these records that I've been working on just because, like, and the thing is like I haven't been writing love songs or anything like that, or, you know, or what I guess what the girls or the people online be saying like hookah music. And sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a little like self-conscious, like, does my music fit in with a certain audience or whatever the case may be? Like, it doesn't sound like necessarily like certain artists. I know it could fit in a playlist with certain artists. That's why I named some of the artists that are in this title. I mean, because quite frankly, if my life were anything like the Truman Show, chances are some of these artists reference my life in their work. um just my experience as a black woman. And I think it's only fair that I use their name to my benefit too. So I mean, shout out to the algorithm and shout out to the people joining in the live stream. But I specifically list these people, I mean, yes, for promotional purposes for my own gain, shamelessly, but also just because I know, like, I'm inspired by these artists as creatives, and I like their work, and their work inspires me just like I'm sure my work would inspire others. I don't know. That's my hope. You know, and I say that with the best of intentions. I could get into further detail, but I'll do that in another medium. Um anyway, but I say that to say, there are times where like I know my music and my style can like fit within the realm of some of the artists that I've listed in this title. But there's times where I'm like, well, I'm not making like the hookah music or whatever they be saying. And it's no shade to hookah music. Hookah music is a vibe. Like that's why, people be vibing to it, smoking hookah. But I haven't smoked hookah in a long time, and like in the last few years, like, I mean, maybe years ago, like I could make songs that fit in that realm of like dating and feeling self-conscious and dealing with rejection and all those things. And every now and then I might like have those moments with like songs like Without You. And I mean, I wrote that last year, um, or whatever. But and within the last few years, I've just been in a space of like dealing with adversity, dealing with isolation, dealing with fighting my own demons as well as like external demons in the world, spiritual warfare, just like a lot of really intense battles in life. And throughout that, what's gotten me through was motivational content and motivational music and things that help with raising your frequency. Now, I'm not 100% like consistent with it. Like, there are times like my guilty pleasure is celebrity drama and gossip. Yes. Okay. My gosh. Sorry. That's such a vice to have. Um, and but I know I'm not the only one. So like, but I say that to say like I know when it comes to like my content is not perfect. And there are times where I rant and rave and I'm angry and upset about the things that I go through and feeling misunderstood. And I feel rage when it comes to just feeling like incorrect narratives are said about me, or and people believe it and treat me a certain way based off that and don't even care to hear my truth or my side of the story. And then by the time I tell my truth, because it goes so against the zeitgeist and what the status quo has been ingrained to believe, then it's like, oh, we don't care. We're going to attack you because we see you as a certain way. And you know what the funniest thing to me is? It's like, it's really like ass backwards, pun intended, when people judge you for a certain thing, but then in judging you, recreate the thing that they're judging you for. And it's like, okay, so why exactly are we mad if y'all just gonna play into the thing that y'all are upset about? You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not mad at it because I mean, I did the same thing to liberate myself, you know? Um, like for example, um, like there was a period of time in my early 20s where I was like kind of like new to the dating scene and stuff like that. And there was just certain ways, like, and of course, like when you're in your early 20s, you make a lot of mistakes. And like, especially if you're not, if you're like, you deal with like insecurities and, people pleasing tendencies and stuff like that. And so there was a point in my dating life where I was just like, just like out here moving recklessly and just being a little bit like, yeah, just dating around and just was out here. And it's like people shaming you for it, but as they're shaming you, they're being promiscuous as they're shaming you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, wait, hold on. How are you gonna shame me for the thing? But you're doing the thing as you're trying to like shit on me. Like, you know what I mean? And speaking of, which gets me to another conversation that I wanted to get into. Um, but I'll get into that a little bit later. About just like reclaiming and liberating yourself through your sensuality without it being promiscuous. A point that we'll get to. But before we get into that point, um, back to the music. So, basically, I even bring all of that up to say, like, I just was dealing with a lot of that, just a lot of judgment, a lot of feeling misunderstood, feeling like I have to like constantly play catch up in terms of like correcting my narrative and just showing up as the most authentic version of myself, but then at the same time wanting to better myself, wanting to evolve, wanting to grow as a person, and then feeling frustrated when people constantly try to label you as this thing. It's like, again, people trying to shame your sensuality and your sexuality, and you haven't had sex in years. You know what I mean? So it's like years, mind you, years, not like, oh, I'm going to be celibate for like a few months. Like, no, like, I have not been active with anybody for years, years at a time, because I've just been one, I don't trust people. That's for one. And especially when you're on like a spiritual journey and you learn about like just the value of how sacred your energy is, how sacred your womb is, exchanging energy, people siphoning energy. Like just when you learn about like the metaphysical side of that, it makes you more selective about, or at least it should make you more selective about who you share your energy and your time with. Like I don't even like spending time with people that don't feel good to me, let alone letting somebody enter my space and my body. Like, no, get away from me, you know? And at one point earlier in my 20s, like, when you're just out here trying to have fun, you know, that's when you make the mistakes, and that's when you know you're not supposed to be dating that person, but you don't want to be alone, or they're the one that's giving you attention. So you go ahead and you call that person, or they call you up and you do your little sneaky links, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, but you really not supposed to be dealing with that person. Like, we all have been there. We all have done it. Like that's all that's a anybody has made that, discrepancy in their dating life. But the more it's kind of like that thing of like when you know better, you do better. And so I've been like on that journey for the last few years. So um it reflects in my music. Like I haven't been writing about like hooking up with people or like dating or having feelings, because like I haven't, like I like, who is there for me to have feelings for? And I mean, yeah, there's like I'm I'm not gonna go down that path. I'll get to that another time. You know, I know that there are certain references and you know, people that folks would like to, um, how do you say it? You know, there are like in some aspects, like say if you're not dating for a while, but then there's like a person that people think is like your Valentine, but it's like how how does that make any sense? I mean, like my life just doesn't even reflect that, but whatever. I mean, and then again, when you get into the whole metaphysical, spiritual things, and sometimes there's like soul ties and all these situations, and then you know, there's just certain individuals in your life that you're just kind of like permanently, like not permanently, I won't say permanently, but just like there's always going to be like a tie to that person or a connection, even if you're not with them. Like not in this example, not dating wise, but like when you think of Biggie, you're always gonna think of Tupac. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain people where it's like, okay, they go together like peanut butter and jelly type of a situation. And I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. But for me and my reality and this reality as Narice and the things that I deal with, that just hasn't been resonating. So doesn't it's not reflecting in my music. Um, and for me, I've been in the space of authentically expressing the things I've been going through. You know, just feeling misunderstood, feeling like, you know, overcoming, fighting the world, feeling like everybody has something to say about you, has something to reference about you, but God forbid you do the same thing. And it's like, oh, how dare you? But it's like, how dare y'all? You know, like the fuck? Like, so everybody and their mama get to say something, but I can't speak my truth. I can't express myself. I can't create my art. I can't, you know what I mean? And it's like, but y'all could do all of this referencing my life for years before I didn't even know. Like, but okay. Anyway, but of course, this is if my life were like the Truman Show. This is for entertainment purposes. I'm in an alternate reality. Stay with me here. Um, but you know, and in that expression, I've just been like wanting to say something with intention, with meaning, like just music that actually has some type of substance to it and not just like, oh, this is a vibe. And don't get me wrong, I love those records. Like those are good records to have. And you know, and even like I'll just say this too, like in my post where I'm promoting the song that I worked on, you know, I'm saying like, well, everybody else was having a hot girl summer. You know, this is what I was working on. And it's no shade to the hot girls and it's no shade to people having a hot girl summer. Like, I love that for y'all. However, I wasn't having a hot girl summer and people be coming at me as if I do be having a hot girl summer and I don't. But, you know, I was making beats, writing songs, singing, practicing guitar, creative directing a photo shoot, putting looks together, editing my own looks, you know, like I'm working on my creativity on top of like other things. And I'm not always perfect with it. There's definitely times where I procrastinate and my time management isn't as great as it could be and, you know, and stuff like that. But for the most part, whereas there was a season where I was out here like, you know, hanging out late, always at the bar, drinking and smoking and stuff like that. Like that is just not my life. Like in real life, my life is boring, you know, unless you have witches and warlocks doing bullshit just to keep it interesting, you know. But if it weren't for that, y'all would probably be bored because I'd just be wanting to create and mind my business and not and just be chilling, you know. But whatever, you know, we got to constantly bring up stuff that's not relevant because that's the only way to keep the Truman Show interesting. Because quite frankly, I really don't even do the shit that y'all be, you know, wanting to bring up and talk about and reference and like attack me for, but whatever. And some of it I've never done, but that's another conversation for another time. But anyway, I've been in a space of wanting to write music with substance and stuff, something that can actually be a message that can like uplift people, inspire people, like, you know, because I know there's people who go through it. I know everybody's like too cool to admit that they struggle or that they fell off the path of following their dreams or you know, just believing the naysayers and believing the people who are telling you like you're not going to make it, you're not going to be anybody, or you're not good enough. I know there's people who struggle with that. There's and they might not admit it to themselves or have anybody to admit it to or go to and feel about it. And you know, and I might, you know, I don't know how people, you know, I might be the perfect messenger. I might be the perfect messenger for that message because I know what that's like. I know what that feels like. And it might not be popular on my particular platform yet, but slowly but surely people are waking up to the fact that like the things that we deal with in this whole coded language is BS. And whereas if I really was the type of person that people try to like at one point try to make me out to be like this problematic thing, my music would be very much on a like a very low vibrational hatred type of frequency, and it's not. You know, there's a offensive side of it and some aggression on like a little bit on like breaking out the house where it's like, you know, fuck all the voodoo y'all do, can't tell me what to do. Like, you know, bitch, I don't belong to you. You know, like there's that, but it's not, you know, it's a declaration of independence and standing up for yourself and saying, like, I don't give a fuck about y'all bullying and, you know, all this weird low vibrational shenanigans that y'all doing. Like, I don't live for y'all. You know, like I'm my own person. My own individual. I deserve autonomy over my body, mind, and my spirit. I deserve freedom. I deserve independence. I deserve privacy. Um, and we all do. And I know that there's people who might struggle with those things in life, especially just in different facets, whether it's in your personal life, in a relationship, in friendships, in, you know, certain organizations, like feeling like you don't have the autonomy that you should. And that's what that record's about. And again, I wanted to put out not only records with substance, with lyrical context that actually can be of service to people, but also in a way where it's a bop. You know, like it's a vibe. It's a bop. And yeah, and I love that for me, to say the most. I love that for me. And I love that for us as a people. Sorry, I'm just like trying to like put the music up here. Um oh yeah, yeah. I'm like I'm looking and it's like because the song has like three different titles. So um oh, this is the instrumental. That's cool. Yeah, because I need to focus on what I'm saying anyway. So so yeah, you know, I'm really excited about these songs. I'm really excited about this music. I put a lot into it and I created it with intention and I'm really proud. And I hope that other people could be proud of it too and it could be of service to people. And I know it's a song, these are songs that I know can age well. I know can stand the test of time. And regardless if it's not appreciated in this moment in time, there is a time period where someone can discover this music and love these songs and it can help someone or people. And I'm excited about that because I know that there's songs that I've discovered decades after it's come out. And it inspired me and it empowered me and it helped me out. So I know I can do the same thing for others. And it doesn't have to be today. It can be 20 years from now. It could be 40 years from now. And people can discover these songs and be inspired and be empowered and can say, you know, fuck the voodoo you do. Bitch, I don't belong to you. Okay. And, you know, and I'm sure in the near future that'll be prevalent because, you know, this is the age of Aquarius and this is ushering in a new time where the truth will be in the forefront and a lot of the things that were deemed like taboo or, you know, conspiracy is going to be the norm. Like, you know, and again, and this is no shade to anybody who practices voodoo or voodoo. This is not that. I'm just saying people who bully with that, you know, that's what I'm talking about. You know, because I mean, I am a spiritual person and I practice magical things myself. You know, and you know, make it rain and snow how I can in my own world, but with the intention of love and light. But I will protect myself if need be. But, you know, I'm sure in the future, songs like this can inspire somebody that's dealing with spirituality and spiritual warfare, or people trying to talk them out of their dreams and their passions. And just like, nah, like, I'm going to let my light shine. Like, you know, I shine bright. And if you can't take it, that's your problem. You know, but I know my light is helpful to other people. Um, I know my light can be helpful to others and hopefully inspire other people to let their light shine. And say, well, damn, if that girl could go through all of this and she's still smiling and shining and looking this good, because I know I do, then I know I can too. And that's ultimately what I want. I want people to look at my situation and my circumstance and say, damn, they did this, they did all of that to that girl. They said all of this about her, and she still was hopeful and positive and cared to put out music to inspire people. And really, she could have been putting out music like on some Chainsaw Massacre type shit. But nah, she was like, I'm going to use this situation and transmute this into something that's positive, something that can inspire, something that can uplift people and show them that fuck what these motherfuckers is talking about. Fuck those people. Shine your light. Your light is bright. Don't let nobody try to dim your light. You the one. And yeah, just be you and be great. And the people who will appreciate it will find you. And you know, I was thinking, I'm trying to I'm I'm not even gonna say it. I know I'm getting better at responding rather than reacting to certain things in life. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm a lot better than what I used to be. And you know, and it makes me think, you know, sometimes when I see people um in like more established spaces, right? And generally, I'm really somebody that champions people. I really be cheering people on and be wanting the success for other folks the way I would want people, I would hope that people would want for me. I've always been that way. You know, the other day I'm like sorting through stuff that I had in the basement and I have like all these CDs from like independent artists or artists that I came across, like they were performing somewhere and I bought their CD or bought their merchandise or whatever the case may be. And, I've always been one that's like, if you're dope, I'm going to support it, period. Like, that's just what it is. And I do that willingly and freely because I support people the way I would want people to support me. And and yeah, I can be opinionated, and there are times where I can be a little shady. And but at the same time, like, and there has been a part of me that felt a way about, you know, being a type of artist and a creative that really cares about the art and really cares about being good at the art and not just like, oh, I want to be a superstar, so I'm like the most popular. Like, no, like I want to be great. Like I want to be respected for my talent, for the fact that yeah, I can sing these songs, write the songs, make the beat, play guitar, do the production, record myself, and style and creative direct and take the pictures, edit the pictures, promote all of that and do it well. And it took time. Like it's not like I was just like good in the beginning. Like of course I had like natural talent in terms of like singing and musical talent, but I had to work on those things. And in me working on those things, it makes you appreciate people who are really good and wanting to support people who are really good at it. And for me, you know, sometimes I have moments where I could be a little shady. Um, and it's not like um to like down people or anything like that, but it's just like, it's when you grew up listening to the greats and wanting to be great and knowing that like you're working on those things like that, and then you see others. I'm trying to say this the best way possible without it being like misinterpreted, but people always misconstrue what I say anyway, so like whatever. But all right, for me, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. As a creative, I really care about this music thing. I care to be good at what I do, and I'm not the best, but I know I'm damn good at what I do, and I'm only getting better. And I say that with confidence and security within myself. As a person, I think it's only natural to feel a way when you see other people copy what you do, like literally copy, like your look, some of your style, your sound, in so many different aspects. And it's like it's you're only it's only human to see these things happen and feel away, you know? Like it's like you see somebody jacking your swag and you're supposed to be like, oh man, that looks like my look. I'm happy. Like, no, that shit will piss you off, especially when you're a creative and you're an artist. As Erica Badu said, she's an artist and she's sensitive about her shit. And I feel the same way as an artist too. And not only that aspect of it, but again, being misunderstood in that, like feeling like exploited, feeling like people just take all these aspects of your life, misconstrue it, and then you know, run with it. and then you're just not supposed to feel away, you know? And like, yeah, to some degree, you get frustrated with the establishments and you get frustrated with the industry and people who get to just like skate ahead. And you're the not only you care to be good at what you do, but then you see so many people like taking from that. You know, there's this bridge in Trenton, New Jersey that says Trenton makes the world takes. And you know, it's a landmark here, but that saying never sat well with me ever. Like even as a kid, I was just like, huh? I'm like, wait, so if Trenton makes and the world takes, is Trenton getting the credit? You know what I mean? Like, is Trenton getting paid? Is Trenton getting some royalties off of the world taking? You know what I mean? It's like, because it's like, okay, Trenton made and the world sampled, but not even sampled, just stole. Okay. And then be mad at you when you be wanting discounts. And it's like, oh my God, how dare you want discounts as we like take everything that you've ever created in every aspect of your life. Like, the shit don't be making sense to me. Like, and people will be like, oh, how dare you feel away? How dare you have emotions about us misconstruing your life? But we're going to condemn you for discounts. This world is ass backwards. And I say this to say, you know, that's just kind of what I've been going through in these last few years. And I've expressed that in my music. And but I try to like I'm trying my best to look at the bright side of it all. But you know, I'm tired of doing that though. You know, naturally I'm the type of person where I try my best to like I mean, there's this Louise Hay saying all is well, everything is working in my favor, I'm safe. Only good is gonna come from this problem. And I truly believe that in my life. Despite the things that I deal with. And with that perspective, it's helped me get through a lot of things. And I mean, I've seen it work. I've literally seen like, oh, you try to like hold me back over here. Well, this is only going to work in my favor and not advantageously for you, you know, and it be happening. It be happening. It okay. And especially in times where I really just be like trying to mind my business and show love. But and you know, I'm not talking about anything in particular that can go across the gambit when it comes to like so many different entities and people and instances and circumstances. But whatever, regardless, like I'm at a point where I'm like I'm tired of like looking at the bright side. Like it should just be the bright side because I know I'm a bright light. I know I'm a light. I know I show up as my bright self. I try to. I'm polite, I'm respectful until it's not that, then it can get combative. Um and I say that just like as moving in the world as a black woman and the things that we deal with just existing. Um and it's like, damn, how dare you exist in the world, you know? Um, but again, it's in the music. And we just gonna play these two records back to back. So yeah, correspondence and breaking out the house is on SoundCloud. So please do check it out. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're watching on Kick, it's in the panels. So check that out. Yeah, I think I said pretty much everything that I wanted to say in regards to like being excited about this song and just like the things I've been dealing with and just my perspective about certain instances and circumstances. Um Yeah. But anyway, so the other topic that I wanted to get into is the liberation of your sensuality without being promiscuous, right? So I mention this because I did um, a photo shoot several months ago, back in September. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe it's been that long and it's already December. But and it's just been a process. It's just been a process of me like styling the look, doing the fitting for the look, actually taking the pictures, getting to a point where I can edit the pictures. Because the thing was, like, I prefer to edit on Lightroom, and I know you have to pay for that. And, my finances are pending. Abundance is pending. We'll say that. And I'm just creating the avenues and the streams to receive said pending abundance. And I'm like, I don't want to edit on Canva. I know they like updated their platform in a way where you could edit photos, but I'm like, nah. Like, I need to use Lightroom. And so I was able to get Lightroom and use it and edit the pictures finally. And I wanted to use it for um this project. um and I wanted to be intentional about um releasing it. But then also at the same time, like, I'm not giving myself a hard time. Like, this time around, when it comes to like rolling out these songs, I know that I would give myself like a hard time about like procrastinating or not having like a super strategic rollout or whatever the case may be. But I haven't put out music in a while. Like, I've been putting out covers and stuff like that. And I still have some covers that I'm like, that some ideas that I'm working on, and you know, things that I want to come out with. But I was like, I think it's time for me to put out like actual new music. Um, like, I have been working on music, and I have like several ideas, and I know there's like Truman Show influenced ideas, and I really wish those people would just get the fuck out the way and stop trying to influence my art, and like, make your own fucking art. I'm not your art. Um, like, my projects are what they're going to be. I don't care about your input and what, oh, we think she's going to do this, so let's try to, like, get the fuck out the way and stay out my art. Like, unless y'all want to write your own songs, make your own beats, and come up with your own photo shoots and stuff like that, like, stay the fuck out my creative process. Like, as if y'all don't have access to so much already, that's really not your right in any capacity, in any realm, in any dimension. Like, God forbid I have something for myself, like my own creativity and my own art. But yeah, I think it was about time for me to put out my own music. And in doing that, I'm just like, I know, like, in the times in the past, like, I've kind of like gone with the flow with it, but I would kind of be like hard on myself because it's like, oh, I need to do a funnel, I need to run ads. This has to be, like, on this platform, and I have to post like 20 times a day. And I'm like, but at the same time, like, I'm one person. Now, I know, like, I have to do things differently than what I've done in the past. Like, I know, like, okay, if you want different results, you got to do different things. And I know it's funny being like one of the most like undercoverly popular people, but like, it doesn't reflect on the stats. But like, I do want to like build it in an authentic, organic way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just like, like, I want people who really enjoy the music to enjoy the music. Like, I get it. I got to deal with the trolls right now until I break out that algorithm. But You know, I'd rather like get it up out the mud and build it from the bottom up than have it handed to me. Um, so with that said, like I know it'd be different if I was an established artist. Like, you know, like yeah, in my last live stream, I was like, you know, Kendrick and SZA should have dropped they tour tickets like this. And it's like, oh, but you're not even an established artist, so who are you to say this? Like, I study these things, but no, I'm not an established artist, so my process has to be a little bit different. I've studied people who are established artists. If I was an established artist until I get there, I think I would have a handle on knowing which strategies because I would have more resources. I would have a team. You know, I would be able to hire people who I can delegate tasks to and say, all right, you focus on making the social media content, you run the social media pages, you post this, then I'm going to work on this, you work on that. Let's all regroup. Let's, you know, like it would be easier to do that. But being that I'm one person, you know, it's like, you know, it's different. It's different when you're one person, like believing in yourself and then also going through the things that I deal with. There's no playbook for my life. There's a script, but there's no playbook in terms of like, okay, this is the roadmap to get you where you need to go in your career that, you know, is replicatable. Like, no, like I am the blueprint. My experience is one of one. I haven't seen anybody ever dealt with anything like what my life is. So, you know, this time around when it comes to like putting out this music, I'm just enjoying the process and I'm learning and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with constantly learning and constantly growing and evolving. Like I've been constantly learning and evolving as a vocalist. Even to this day, like my vocals constantly get stronger and better. And I'm constantly growing. And I'm proud. And I'm really proud of it, of that. And I'm constantly learning and growing as a guitarist. I'm growing and learning as a producer. So when it comes to the business side of things and the marketing, I'm learning as that as well. And you know, and even when I put out the cover to Sweet Life, I was like, okay, I know I have to push myself with the marketing with this too. And I got it to like I'm like almost at 200 plays now. There's probably a handful of plays that's me, but so what? I know I was pushing it on social media. I was talking about it on the live streams. I live streamed the whole process of me like recording the song, doing the backgrounds, doing the harmonies. Like you guys can pull up a previous live stream of me working on Sweet Life and literally see the full process of me actually build that song. And you know, and I still have to put the video out to that. Like I still have the video for it. Um, sorry, I enjoy my music. You know, and I'm grateful to have music that I actually like. Because you know, the music out today is like, you know, questionable. You gotta sit up here and listen and decipher Da Vinci Code type shenanigans. But nah, I'm on a tangent right now. But I'm gonna get back to my point. Um, so yeah, I'm growing and evolving, and this time around with this particular rollout, I'm not giving myself a hard time. I'm sure there's like Truman Show steps along the way that's probably leaving little breadcrumbs for me to like, you know, look into, and like, okay, I'll see and you know determine what I'm gonna see and receive, and you know decline what I will. But I mean, I have an idea. I mean, it's not like I have no idea. Like I have a plan, but I'm not going to be so hard on myself if I like deviate or if things come up or I, you know, because it's like you could have a plan, you know. I feel like for me, it's interesting. I don't know how people do this, but then like there are people who strategize for a living. But I think, you know, when you try to plan so far in advance and then like say things come up and then it forces you to pivot, and it forces you to change, because it's like, okay, you thought you were going to be able to have this done, but in order to do this, you got to have this paperwork done, and this paperwork takes like a month to process. So the thing that you thought you were going to get done this month actually has to wait like another month, because you got to finish this paperwork thing. Like, you know, like when stuff like that happens, it's like you can't really account for that, because you don't know, especially if it's a new process for you, or even if it's a process you're familiar with, but the game is changing. Like, for example, like people who maybe was good at managing an artist in the 90s, it's a whole different game at this point. We got social media, you know, technology. Like the world has changed in a way where what would have worked 20 years ago or 30 years ago at this point doesn't necessarily mean it'll work in this day and age. So like, you know, you have to constantly adapt to, you know, what's happening in the world, the process within the journey that you're trying to be on. And I think with that understanding, I'm giving myself grace to like not be so hard on myself when things don't happen when I want them to. And I'm just like, look, it's a part of the process. And like things, you know, I'm constantly learning and evolving. Like, for example, like I'm familiar with the process of like creating a LLC and the EI and getting an EIN number and a business bank account and all those things when it comes to a business. But, you know, there are certain processes that, you know, you have to do that you won't learn until you're in the midst of doing it. And, you know, just when you thought like, okay, I'm going to have this goal set by here, you know, there's just certain things that come up that might shift or, you know, change it. And I'm not talking about like people and things intentionally trying to get in the way, but just like the things that's actually going to help the process, but sometimes it might take a little bit longer than you want it to. Um, and I used to get really bummed out about that a lot. Like, oh my gosh, I really wanted this to already be done. Like this was already supposed to be finished. And I had to wait for this. And, you know, in order for me to get to this next step, I got to go through this. I got to pay for this, you know. And so, and I would be really hard on myself about that. But now I'm just like, you know, I'm just going to go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens, you know, whatever comes up, I'm just going to learn and just take it a day at a time. And, you know, and really just like have fun with this process, like have fun marketing these songs and knowing that I believe in these songs. I believe in what these songs stand for and the message that's within it. And I know it doesn't necessarily have to fit in with what everybody else is doing, but I believe in these records. I believe in myself. And I think that it can make great impact, and I want to do it the right way. And in me doing it the right way and with integrity and with confidence, sometimes it takes a while, and that's fine. Like you know, I got some time on this planet. You know, I'm only about to be 30. God willing, I got like 70 more summers. And, you know, and I've grown and evolved a lot through these last few years. And I know I just have more learning and growing and evolving to do. Um, yeah. So I'm excited and I'm proud about that. But anyway, that was also another tangent to the main point. So the photo shoot, right? So I did 4 different looks, and every look was intending to be some aspect of femininity and sensuality. And it it differentiated with like colors and stuff like that, but for the most part every look I'm wearing like a skirt, and it's feminine. You know, it's either like sexy and feminine in its own way. And the first look with the pink, I wish I could like show the images on here. I mean, maybe if I was on my computer I would be able to do it like as I'm like showing y'all. But basically, I mean, if I live streamed it in September, the actual photo shoot, and showed y'all the process. And the pictures are like, if my life were like the Truman Show, you've already seen these pictures. But you know, the whole concept of this photo shoot was me liberating myself to embrace my sensuality as a woman without shame, because there's been several situations and circumstances in my life where, you know, I was just like not, I didn't really play the game well when it comes to like dating and stuff. And then there's also like certain moments, like traumatic moments within like my childhood and whatnot, and just like in school, dealing with insecurity and just like, you know, folks like, you know, like the pretty girl getting the attention, and I just wasn't that at that time. And so I felt like that also like influenced um when I got into like my 20s and I was dating and like getting attention and stuff like that, and like feeling pretty, and like I was still in the midst of like discovering what my look and style was. So there would be moments where I was like, you know, I put a look together and then, you know, was getting attention for that, and like, and seeking validation through the male gaze, and then ultimately like dealing with shame around that, and just being like shamed for like my dating history, and just like, just a lot, just shamed for a lot of things when it came to like my sexuality, and feeling extremely misunderstood, feeling extremely, you know, just like the narrative around that is just incorrect and a fallacy. And so I intended to do this photo shoot with the creative intention to reclaim my power, reclaim my energy, and liberate myself and my sensuality, my femininity as a woman. And and let me be clear, you know, when people say that, you know, like, oh, you know, oh, I'm just being like, I'm liberating my sexuality. You know, I feel like there's a misconception about that being like an excuse to be promiscuous and just like out there and dating around and stuff like that. And at one point I that was an excuse for me in my early 20s. Um and I mean, and I've seen and heard other women have that experience too. That's not what I mean. I mean like from being in a space in a time where that was like shamed, like you're shamed and looked down on and attacked for it, and it's like, oh, how dare you. But God forbid, if I was a guy, I'd be celebrated for that. But you know, but because I'm not only I'm a woman, but a black woman at that, um you know, and we're often objectified and, you know, used for, you know, it's funny how like in a patriarchal society, men, and not just men, but men objectify women and sexualize women, but then shame women for being sexualized, but they lust after this objectified, sexualized woman. So it's like, where does it make sense? You know what I mean? Like, how do you, it's like the type of guy that like seeks prostitution, but then shames the sex worker. But it's like, but you're funding the worker. Like you're seeking their services. So how do you seek the service of somebody that you're shaming? You know, like that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. That like that's the nutritional facts on that just don't add up to me. Um, but you know, I say that in terms of liberating myself and my sensuality is, you know, creating this photo shoot where the images are tasteful and it's stylish, and I was having fun, and I felt beautiful, and I felt comfortable in my skin, and I felt confident, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to have sex with someone. Like, no, it was really just me being in my feminine energy and expressing myself creatively, you know, through fashion, through the images, through the set, the lighting, you know, the certain looks where there was the hat, certain looks where, you know, based on the different colors. And it was all different aspects of femininity. So like the first look with um the pink lingerie, which was Savage Fenty. Hey Rihanna, thanks for that collection. I mean, I paid for it, so I mean, you got a coin off of that. But hey, girl, um, you know, I, you know, styled that together, and and even though that was technically the most revealing look, it wasn't done in a way where it was like, oh, this is like OnlyFans type of pictures. Like it was very feminine, it was very tasteful, it was very soft and feminine. And I did that intentionally and deliberately because for that look, like my hair was like wavy. I had like butterfly clips, I had like floral pieces, and also like reclaiming that for one, I love flowers. I don't know if that was intentional or strategic, you know, given Greek mythology, you know, whatever. But I like flowers and I'm not going to let certain things turn that into a negative for me. Like I'm really big on like transmuting negatives into positives that work in my favor. And I know I look good in florals. Florals work well with me. And I know I looked good in those pictures. And it wasn't like it wasn't sleazy, it wasn't any of that. It was, I know it, I was confident in myself, I felt good, I felt beautiful, and I felt sexy without it being sexual. You know, it was sensual, which is a difference. And the second look, which was I had like the blue skirt with the denim and the bralette with the like the different like ties and stuff like that. That one was more like playful and flirty kind of a vibe, but not even really flirty, but like just me feeling um like it was also feminine, but it was more so like it was just fun. It was just like a fun look and it's like, yeah, I know like this is like sexy and stuff like that, but it's like real like girly and just like fab, you know, like that was just kind of like the vibe with that one. Um, and just more like upbeat and you know, that was just kind of like the feel for it. Um, and then the look after that with the green skirt, that one, I don't know, I feel like that was like my favorite look wise. Just because like it was more like fashionable. It was more what's the word? It was more like not avant-garde, but it was just more fashionable. Like it was more stylish. And because, you know, the boots, there was like the white boots and especially the shirt, because I think the shirt was meant to be worn the other way around, but I wore it backwards so it can go up for you to see like my unk tattoo. And and yeah, and I just thought it was cute and it was stylish and I really liked it. And it was inspired by Janet, you know, the Janet album where she, like her arms are up and but someone's like covering her chest. Um Even though that wasn't what was like, I mean it covered me so I didn't need somebody's hands to do that. But it was that one of the poses were inspired by that, which is actually the cover art for Breaking Out the House. Um, and that was one of my favorite looks because, you know, there was like the sunglasses. It was like cool. It was sexy. It was like sophisticated and elegant, but badass at the same time. And all of those things wrapped in one. And I just love that for that look. But the thing that I really enjoyed most about it was like the elements of green, because green is one of my favorite colors and The Matrix is one of my favorite movies. And it was also like Matrix coded too, in terms of like the aesthetics and how I edited it. Because I intentionally wanted the edits to reflect like the colors of each look. And with that look, there were some images where like the first few pictures that I took all together were a little bit darker because I didn't have like mind you, I was using a ring light. I didn't have like the ring light angled a certain way or on. And then I turned the ring light on. And the thing was, I was like, damn, these pictures are too dark when I was looking just at like the raw footage. But then when I edited the pictures and I added the green color grade, I was like, oh, the darker ones was giving me like the darker ones were more like aesthetically pleasing because it had more of a cinematic feel to it. And I realized I liked that vibe and that cinematic look with the darker lighting really felt like stills from the Matrix. And I was like, oh, these are really good. But I kind of know that going into like another photo shoot. But I still like the lit ones though, like the ones where my lighting was a little bit brighter. It still was good. Like, and especially with the green effects. Mind you, I'm gonna put a post online where you all see the process. I'm working on a series. I mean, I'm sure if my life were like the Truman Show, you've already seen me editing this. But I'm gonna post it on TikTok, so be on the lookout for that. And basically just a breakdown on how I creative directed this whole photo shoot. So yeah, like in that look, mind you, it was sexy, but it was classy at the same time because like I had the boots on and I was mostly covered in that look, but just the cleavage, it was like a reverse kind of cleavage thing because usually cleavage is kind of like that, but it's like was like under boob cleavage. But it was stylish though. Like the shirt was a vibe, and then I had like a decadent um what do you call it, um like a brooch style necklace that I got years ago from my old job, Aldo. And then just like the hat and like just everything about that look was just so stylish and fashionable. And I really enjoyed that stylistically. I love styling that look. And then the last look was the all black look. And the thing was, it went through an evolution before it got to the official look that I put together for the pictures. Because at first I was gonna wear a different skirt, and then I was gonna wear like my sweater, which I kind of have right here. And then as I was taking the pictures, I was like, these pictures aren't really giving the look that I want. And so I ended up switching the skirt because it was kind of like loose fitting. And the skirt that I was wearing was like a navy blue, but the silhouette gave what I needed it to give. And so I ended up just using most of the looks from from those pictures. The only thing about those pictures is that like my focus on my camera wasn't the best, which just kind of like pissed me off. But like, that's it happens when you're like self-directing a photo shoot and you're modeling at the same time. And then like, you're trying to keep in mind lighting. And mind you, when you're looking, it's not like I have like a large screen to see the images with. I'm literally looking at the small screen that's on the camera. So sometimes you can't really see like the details until after you pull it up in post when you're editing. And so in doing that, I found out in editing, I was like, damn, some of these pictures aren't as clear as I wanted them to be. But then again, I'm like, I'm working with an older camera and you know, I'm just doing the best with the equipment that I have. Like I said, I was using a ring light for lighting. Like I don't have like the official like umbrella lights yet. But again, like sometimes you just got to work with what you got. And if you got a ring light, if you got a this light, just study. I studied enough about lighting for me to feel confident in knowing how to light a set and knowing that, okay, I need a light up here, I need a light towards the back, and I need a light under, or whatever. So yeah, so that was the case for that. When it came to those images in terms of like set and like creative direction. But the actual look in itself, that was like more it was sexy. but it was intentionally a dark feminine, sultry vibes, and very, I want to say like, well, not necessarily inspired by, but I realized um it could be like a manifestation or representation of oh, what's her name? What's her name? Uh Lilith. Lilith energy. Um, you know, she's like a goddess, and I mean, she's known as like a dark, free, spirited um woman that can't be like contained or, told what to do. And I mean, there's some lore to her story where she would have been Adam's original wife, but she didn't like the concept of being subservient to him. So she just kind of wandered off and did her own thing. And, just like that free, like unapologetic, I'm my own person, I'm independent. I can make a way out of no way. I can wander and frolic in the woods and I'm good and I can take care of myself and I'm strong. That's kind of Lilith's energy. And that was kind of the vibe that I was going for with those pictures. And and it could be a little controversial of me like showing my ass a little bit. The little bit of ass that I have. And I intentionally took those pictures like that, just like everybody else is. There's so many people out here popping their thing wide open and, and you know, they thirst trap pics for the gram and all those things. And for me, it was reclaiming my sensuality, embracing my body, embracing my curves, and embracing my petiteness and not feeling ashamed about it and not feeling like, oh, I have to hide or I can't be sensual in this way or whatever the case may be. I intentionally took those pictures like that because there's a time in my life where when I was younger, I took a picture in a towel and put it on MySpace when I was like in, I don't know, like late middle school. Mind you, again, you have to understand, like, from my perspective, the things that I got in trouble for felt tame compared to what other people I was going to school with were doing. And just like what was happening in the zeitgeist of like my upbringing and my age. Like, motherfuckers was grown, okay? Like people was acting grown. And there was people that I went to school with that was like a few years older than me, but were like fully developed in middle school. And like, guys were like, like giving girls attention and slapping girls on the butt and stuff like that. The things where people be like, oh, boys will be boys. Well, boys was really being boys, okay, when I was in school. And, and again, I dealt with like a lot of insecurity and just like kind of wanting to fit in that way. And of course, that whole thing of like, say you get in trouble for something and, you're telling your parents, but it's like, oh, but they was doing this and this and that. And your parents was like, oh, we don't care. We care about what you're doing, because to them, what you're doing is on broadcast versus what everyone is doing. And of course, you're the only one getting reprimanded for it. So, I kind of got in trouble from that. And mind you, I was young at this point, but today I'm grown. I'm a grown woman. And not only that, but I've evolved and shifted and grown so much in my mentality and my confidence and my security within myself. And I intentionally took those pictures again to reclaim the liberation of my sensuality. And I'm saying, like, I don't care about if you want to bring up a time where I was talking to two guys at the same time, or I was out here at the bar, being flirtatious and that. I haven't been to a bar in years. Well, okay. maybe not years, but like out like being doing the most, or like trying to talk and like date and stuff like that. And so it, again, it was for me, it was for creative purposes. It was me being creative, me reclaiming um autonomy over my body. And not only that, but again, you know, we're in a day and age where people will shame you by recreating the thing that they're trying to shame you for. And to me, that just appears like that just don't make sense to me. Let me say it like that and not say something ignorant. Because I'm like, okay, well, if y'all gonna do it, then what are we shaming for? It'd be one thing if like if you're shaming for somebody for something, but you condemn them from doing it, so nobody does it. But it's the fact that everybody's doing the thing that you're shaming someone about. So it's like if we're all gonna do it, then damn it, I'm gonna do it too, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it. And I know I look damn good. Okay, like, and that's not debatable. And guess what? And when y'all do it, y'all look good too, and I love that for y'all. Okay, but it's like if we going to shame, like make the shame make sense, and it don't be making sense. And not only do it not be making sense, people have selective morality. They'll like, again, it's that thing of, because like if your parents are paying attention to you and not anybody else, it's like, again, like if you want to be mad at me, be mad at everybody else involved. Like, for example, like say if me and like a person I'm dating um are like actively doing something, I don't know, but it's like for us, in our own relationship or whatever the case may be. But say like other people be doing it, and and they just be out on TikTok with it, and on Instagram, and just be broadcasting what they do. You know what I mean? But then people want to shame the woman again, often shaming the woman, attacking the woman, but never want to look at the guy. Because again, if I were a guy, everyone would love it. I'd be celebrated. I'd probably be like one of the top artists out here. But I don't know. I don't know what's going. But actually, nowadays, you never know, because the way the climate has been changing. Um, I don't know. Narratives are changing. But I say this to say people are selective about their morality. If they want to make you the target, then you're going to be the target. But mind you, everybody else could be doing the same shit you doing. But because it's you, and because people want to like have you on the hate train, and shame the black woman or shame the woman that's doing something, but not hold anybody else accountable, you know and then mind you also, when they're shaming you, they're doing the same thing that they're shaming you for. And that's the thing that don't make no sense to me. So I'm like, okay, if you go and shame me, like, then why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Because what, like, you know what I mean? That's the part that don't make sense to me. That's all I'm saying. And it's no shade. It's like, because I don't want to be in a combative space with people. I'm just trying to point out the things that don't make sense to me, and hopefully I can get some clarity with a sound mind, because without an attitude. But with people saying, okay, look, this is why, like, I don't know, I feel like we're beyond a place of like mature, forthright conversation, you know but I'm just saying, like, if like we can't shame a thing and then do the thing that we're talking about shaming somebody for. And then, so, in me taking these pictures and doing this photo shoot with all these looks, um it was me again reclaiming and having actual liberation for my sensuality, without it being like me being promiscuous and dating and like being reckless and messy and stuff like that. Like, no, it was art, it was creativity, it was fashion, it was expression, it was movement. Um, and it again, it was creative. It was a project for me. It was something, and it wasn't just done like. I mean, part of it was like, oh, I just want to be cute and take pictures, but in me crafting the looks, I realized I was like, okay, these it's there's a common theme here, even though they're all different in their own ways, like beyond just the colors, but like the vibe and the energy. Like again, one look was like soft and feminine. One look was like more playful and feminine. One look was more fashionable and badass, and another one was again like dark and sultry, but all different facets and different reflections of what sensuality can look like for a woman through art. And I'm proud of it. And, you know, I'm not ashamed at all. Um, I'm proud to finally be in a space where I know I can style myself in a way where I know it's going to look good. And I feel confident in what I'm wearing. I feel pretty. I feel beautiful. And not only that, just not for like the vanity of it, but just for the confidence within myself and being secure with myself as a woman, especially going through like the awkward phases of growing up without my mom present. And mind you, my only recollection of my mom at that time were through pictures. And I just saw pictures of my mom looking beautiful. Mind you, a beautiful, dark skinned Black woman. Beautiful. That was my first image of like what I ever wanted to be like and look like was a beautiful, dark skinned Black woman. And growing up, that wasn't my relationship with her. That wasn't how I seen her in real life. But I had these images to pull back from and say like, okay, I want to be stylish like my mom. Like my mom was like, she would put the looks on and wear the thing, you know? And I struggled with that for years. I struggled with figuring out my style. And mind you, as somebody that's like eclectic in types of the things that I'm interested in, like from music, like I like so many different styles of music, and I also can appreciate different styles in fashion. And so there's different times where I wanted to experiment with certain looks and not necessarily know how to land the styling. But I finally got to a point where I know how to style myself. I know what looks good on me. I know what silhouettes I like on me. I know what my signature look is, and I know how I can venture out and do stuff that's more artsy and more avant-garde. And then I also know how to do things that's more reserved. I know how to do things that's more like flamboyant. I know how to do things that's more androgynous and like, I can give like butch queen vibes if I want to, like I know how to flip the different styles and make it look good on me. And it took me a while to get to that point. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of where I am as a creative, fashion wise. So this photo shoot was a creative expression of fashion as well as the femininity and sensuality of me as a woman. And just saying that I don't care about what you want to shame me about. The only thing you can shame me about, you got to go back in time to shame me at this point. You know what I mean? You got to pull out the history books to try to shame me. And today, like, because like I said, you got to have like witches and warlocks, cook up shenanigans in order for my life to be interesting. Because my life today, I don't be out here drinking. I don't be out here partying at the bars. I don't be texting nobody except when I'm trying to like get gifts for like a friend and their kid or whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to do regular stuff. I'm just living a regular life and trying to be a creative. Like y'all gotta keep cooking up shit that or make up stuff in order to make my life interesting at this point. Like, I'm just so focused on the art. I'm so focused on creativity. I'm so focused on like expressing myself and just building and growing and evolving myself as a creative, and just showing that to the world and showing my work, and being able to say like I'm good at what I do and say it confidently and know it and be able to show it. Like I'm so grateful that I've had so many different projects, like not only musical projects where I know I've grown and evolved as an artist, as a singer, as a guitarist, as a performer, even with like the visuals, even if it's something as simple as me just recording like a cover for YouTube, but also having something that expresses my growth and creativity visually, and knowing like, yeah, I did the thing. Like I did that musically, and the style, the swag is on point. And like I have a handful of photo shoots that I'm really proud of. I have a plethora of looks that I've styled myself, and I'm proud of those looks. Like, even if it could be like a little controversial because it's like, oh, it's a little too sexy, or oh, there's like some hidden message here. Like, for example, the Everybody Mad video. I feel like that project has aged well over time, and I'm still proud of that project because of the intention with it. And again, like, it could have just been me. Like, the original idea was for me to just dance by the bank or whatever. But I'm grateful and proud that I thought like, okay, I want to be intentional about the locations. I want there to be symbolism with this. Like, I want to address, mass incarceration, um, food scarcity, um, issues within schools and the younger generations, like just simply because of the locations that I decided to do this at. And people, you could talk about, people. I feel like people just be talking about stuff, just be talking about stuff. But then if you really look at the work, you really see where my heart is, you know? And I intentionally wanted to go back to my old school. And not only that, to relive that moment and show up as the older version of myself that always knew I could be when I was that little girl, that awkward little girl that just wanted to sing and dance and look damn good, and to be that. And I filmed that video a year and some change ago. Next year it'll be like 2 years. And I looked back and I was like, okay, I haven't watched it in a while, but I had been watching it recently. And I'm like, I ate this shit. Not food. But I ate the choreography, the look, the intention, the editing. Like, I'm proud of that project. And not only that, but the photos that I took with that look, I bodied that photo shoot. Like, and I'm not saying this to like be cocky and toot my own horn, but I say this like, again, when you grow up as somebody that was like awkward and you didn't always have your look together, and there was times where people joke talking about making fun of people, and being sensitive about that. There was times where the boys at my school was making fun of me and basically was like, oh, we thought you was a boy, because like I dead ass looked like a little boy for a period of time. Like, I had these baggy ass pants, my braids stopped to the back of my neck. I looked like AI going to school. And no shade to AI, he is a handsome man, but I was not trying to be AI. I was trying to be my best femme queen self. And I just didn't have the means to do that with uniform and whatever. So, it was frustrating. Um, but I mean, now, like, I can give you a masculine look and probably look better than a lot of the dudes out here. But but I'm just saying, I say this like with pride, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of my pride. I'm not ashamed of my confidence. I'm not ashamed of um my creative expression. I'm not ashamed of my art. I'm not ashamed of my femininity, my sexuality, sensuality specifically. I have no sex life right now for sexuality. But I have no shame in that either, because like I've done too much work on myself to grow and evolve as a person, as a creative, as a woman, and spiritually, just like as a being having a human experience here on earth. Like I've done so much work to evolve, and I've come so far to a point where I know I do good work, and I'm good at what I do, and I'm confident with my work, and I know I do it with the best of intentions. And, again, like something that I've said often is like with the things that I care to do with my art, with my work, and just how I exist in the world is to break all curses and build all blessings for the good of all and the harm to none. That's my purest intentions. The only time people get harmed is when they try to harm me and I swing back. And I am going to swing back. Okay. But at one point, I wasn't confident even to do that. I was passive aggressive. I didn't want to be confrontational. I'm like, and don't get it wrong. Like, just because, like, I might not address something right then and there, don't mean I'm going to forget. Like, and it's not even a matter of holding a grudge, but like, I can move on if people are willing to be accountable and move on themselves. Like, like it has to be a mutual thing. But if I'm the only one trying to evolve and move on and people keep fucking with me, then yeah, I'm going to defend myself shamelessly. And sometimes the tactics aren't the best way. And if I'm wrong, I can own up to it and I can apologize for that. But, you know, with the things that I deal with on a day to day basis, and just like the insurmountable, overwhelming opinions and manipulation, and just like all the things that one person can deal with. The fact that I deal with it and still manage, like, yeah, no, I'm not always going to get it right. But I've I've come a long way, and I'm really proud of who I am. I'm proud of how far I've come. And, you know, no one can tell me about who I am. Like I don't care how much little details or how much to the storyline you might know more than me. When it comes to who I am and my essence and my being and my spirit, like you can't tell me who the fuck that is, because I'm the one living in this vessel. I'm the one doing this work. I'm the one showing up as myself. I'm the one saying the prayers to God. I'm the one doing this. And of course there's definitely like influences out in the world. We are all influenced and all like, you know, pushed in a certain way to a certain degree, but I'm the one that's doing all this work, you know, and I deserve to reap the benefits of the work that I put out. And I will, and I claim that, and I declare that, and I demand that in my life and in this reality. And I just hope in me stating that and saying that and expressing that, that I can inspire other people to do that as well. That's always my intent. I really just want to be in a space of inspiration. I don't want to be combative with people. I know I'm not perfect. Again, like I have my moments where I can be competitive and I can be shady. And, but it's only because I'm passionate. Like, please understand that. It's not like I do that for no reason. And I'm just like, antagonizing. Like, no, it's usually either from a space of passion or feeling like attacked and misunderstood. If I'm attacked and misunderstood, then yeah, I'm on defense mode. And on defense mode, I be swinging. Or I'm really passionate about something, especially like art, especially fashion, especially music, visuals, movies. Like I'm passionate about that stuff. It's not like, you know, it's not for no reason. And I just ask that people understand that, like it's not like, again, like that, like the trend makes the world takes thing. If the world is taken and not giving Trenton credit, you don't think Trenton gonna not be upset about that? You know what I mean? Like you're not paying Trenton nothing, you're not giving no credit. And not only are you taking from Trenton, but you're shaming and attacking them while you're taking from Trenton. Yeah. You would feel away if it were you. Like, I just wish people were more empathetic to that. You know, like just imagine dealing with a fraction of the things. How would you react? How would you feel? How would you feel? Especially as someone who creates and who is an artist, and you build and you make and you style and you come up with ideas. Like this song that's playing right now, I had the idea for this beat in my mind for 2 years before I actually transmuted it into music. And I'm so grateful for this beat, and I'm gonna play it back because it came out better than how I imagined it. You know, sometimes as an artist, you have a vision for something and then you try to make it and it don't come out how you thought. This was one of the times where the beat came out exactly how I was hearing it in my mind. And I added things that made it better. And I'm so proud of it. And that's just one aspect, one facet, one avenue to the things that I do. And and again, I'm proud of myself as a producer because again, and it for me, like again, for those who know, if my life were like a Truman Show, you already know. I was in a group called Down to Mars, and my bandmate was the producer, and a damn good one. And I had ideas, and the thing that was dope with what we did was that I would have ideas. I could tell this person, and then they can make something way better than what I even thought. And until we stopped working together, then I'm like, well, I still want to make music. I still want to make art, and I don't know how to produce. So that's when I picked up a guitar and I started learning chords and I started writing to guitar songs. And that's why a lot of those songs was like, you know, slow, sad songs sounding. And then I'm like, okay, we got to bring the BPM up because, like, I mean, I love these songs like Otherwise and, you know, and Alumni and Divine. Like, all of those are like a vibe musically, but I'm like, we got to bring the BPM up. So to be able to make a song like this, and, you know, it's a house beat because I'm a Jersey girl and we love house music in Jersey. And, you know, and to be able to make a beat like this and just all these other beats, like all of these are beats that I made, you know, whether it's like sampled or like something I made completely from scratch. Like I made these songs and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of how far I've come as a creative, as a producer, you know, like to a point where it's like I can make my own beats. And you know, and not only that, but they transcend genre. Like some of it can be R&B, some of it could be house, some of it could be like really hip hop coded, some of it is really like ethereal and pretty, and you know, like it transcends just one style of music, and I'm proud of it. And you know, and it's frustrating because sometimes when people get so caught up in the negative and that's all they acknowledge, and it's like, as much as motherfuckers be watching, as much as motherfuckers be watching to hate, you don't see all the great. That's a bar. As much as motherfuckers be watching to hate, you don't see the things that I do that's great. You can't even give me my credit for that. You can't even acknowledge that, like acknowledge the fact that yes, I am talented and I'm good at what I do. And not only that, but I've gotten better at what I do. Like, nah, like people always want to like try to bring up and like misconstrue. Not only that, like if you're gonna bring it up, bring up the facts. Bring up the facts if you're gonna bring it up. But my thing is like, don't discredit all the work that I've been doing for these past few years while people, you know, misunderstand me and like shame me about all this stuff. Like, nah. Like if you're gonna reference me right. Reference the creativity, reference the dedication, reference the resilience, reference the talent, reference the yeah, I do wear a bunch of hats and I wear them well, you know, and I'm proud of it because not many people can. As much as people like, it's easy to hate, it's easy to shame somebody, it's easy to kick somebody while they down, but I dare you to give me my credit where it's due. I mean, that's the least y'all could do. That's the least y'all can give me based on how much people be taking. Like, I'm good at what I do. I'm great at what I do. And I'm proud of it. And y'all not gonna make me feel bad about that. And again, like the whole purpose of that whole photo shoot was for me to reclaim a part of myself that I felt like so ashamed about, which was my like sensuality and sexuality as a woman. And and I just feel like oftentimes it's misconstrued, misunderstood, and people create these narratives about you and try to like blame and attack you. But again, there's always that double standard of like attack the woman, but don't hold the male accountable, even though the male be doing the same damn thing, if not worse. And or like, oh, we're gonna like point the finger at you, but it's like, okay, for the one finger that you point at me, there's three pointing back at y'all. So we're not gonna talk about y'all because y'all be doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And it's like it's frustrating when, like, for example, like that example that I said before, like, like slut shaming somebody, but you trying to fuck the slut. How you gonna slut shame the slut that you're trying to fuck, and then make it seem like, oh, she's trying to be up on me. Like, I know deception is like a skill, but that shit is played out. We need to cut that shit the fuck out and like bring the facts to the forefront. And not only that, but just like, let's look at the bigger picture here. What really matters? I just feel like we're in a day and age where it's like cool to be hateful, not even without like justification or like where it's warranted, without even a full understanding or scope of a circumstance. You know, I don't know. It's crazy, but you know what? This baseline is fucking sickening, and I'm proud of it. And the chords come back. And the beat drops like, and this right here is why I don't be caring about what the fuck y'all be talking about, because I'm proud of this. I did this by myself. No samples, no loops, no sound packs. Well, aside from the sound packs that came with Ableton, but I crafted this song. Each piece, each sound, I played everything out on the keys, on the drum pads. No, no loops, all me. Shit like this is why I don't be giving a fuck about the shit y'all be talking about, because y'all could bitch about whatever, but what you can't do is debate my resilience, my talent, and my passion. Because I'm passionate about this. Like, it's not just like a thing that I do or stumbled onto. Like, no, this is like I love this shit. Like, I love this music. I love art, and I think y'all have gotten too accustomed to this day and age where it's cool to pollute the art with bullshit hidden messages that don't even be teaching you nothing. Like, what are y'all saying in these songs? What are y'all actually talking about? Hmm. That's what I be wanting to know. But I can appreciate artists who do like the whole Easter egg hidden message thing, but the hidden messages is actually standing for something. It's teaching someone something. It's empowering somebody something. It's like the coded messages is like letting you know like historical context of Black culture. I can appreciate stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of y'all just be upset to be upset and then don't even be doing nothing to correct or fix or heal anything. Y'all just want to be mad. Y'all just want to be hateful. Y'all just want to be like in a low frequency. For what? I don't know. And that's why I don't get y'all people. I don't rock with y'all people like that. But shout out to the people who understand what I'm saying. Shout out to the people who appreciate me as an artist. And like, can we just talk about this transition? Like, this is all one beat. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. And mind you, I gotta clean this up because like the bass line is a little bit rough. I haven't been practicing my bass like I could, but this is still fucking dope. Mess ups and all. Like, this is why I don't be giving a fuck about what y'all be talking about, because y'all don't be talking about nothing. Ain't that what Kendrick said? What they talking about? Ain't talking about nothing. Y'all really don't be talking about nothing. Y'all don't be saying shit. Okay? But you know what? Damn. Oh, that's fine. This record could play. But yeah. Anyway, I've been on here for like 2 hours now. I said what I needed to say. I wanted to talk about the music and I wanted to talk about the photo shoot. And yeah, and I've been wanting to talk about the photo shoot, like specifically the creative direction. The creative direction. And I say that intentionally. I use that title intentionally. I mean, since y'all, you know, then all right, fine. We can do that. If that's what y'all be wanting to reference, then I'll reference it too. But I'll reference it in a way where I'm showcasing my talent that's undebatable. So I wanted to talk about the creative direction with that photo shoot and highlight the liberation of my sensuality and moving beyond shame and in a space of creative expression of the different facets and different versions of what it looks like and feels like and is to express your sensuality and your femininity as a woman or just as a human. Because I mean, but me personally, I identify as a woman. So yeah. Thank you to the people who understand where I'm coming from. Shout out to the people who hear me and receive what I'm saying. And thank you to the people who support me. Thank you to the people who are open-minded and consider the things that I say. And also like, thank you to the people who like, despite my moments of like frustration and outbursts and times where I'll probably say and do things that are not like the best, still find it in their hearts to like sympathize with my situation and still support me. I'm not perfect and I'm really trying my best, and it's a lot to deal with the things that I deal with, and to still even be creative, in this shenanigans. Like, I mean, I care and I'm passionate about it, and I really just want to be good at what I do. That's all. And I'm really thankful for the people who see that and who legitimately supports that. Not, and again, not the people who be pandering, who, craft their content in a way to, press all the magical buttons and say the things that they think I would want to hear just to switch up or whatever the case may be. Nah. I'm talking about the people who actually like take a stand and recognize that a lot of the situations around my life be some bullshit. And like, speaking of pictures, pictures that I can't take, because I'm just a little human, just existing in the world, like depending on the guidance and protection of who brought me into the world. But I'm grateful and I'm thankful to the people who support. Thank you to the people who like hear me and really like see me as a human being with some type of superpower. And and I really just want to do good here on this planet. I really do. I'm trying my best. And I'm grateful for the people who just like really understand and like recognize like the bull that be going on around me and just like, you know, are willing to take the unpopular stance until it becomes popular. I'm really thankful. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Because I mean, like, like I am tough and I'm strong and I've dealt with enough disappointment for it to not phase me too much. But I am grateful for the support where I have it. I am. And again, I just try to support people the way I would want to be supported. And I'm grateful for the people who, appreciate what I say and what I stand for in these videos, and hear me and like, acknowledge my like I really be trying to I really do my best to make as much sense as I can in these videos, and the people who understand what I be saying, thank you. Because some people will hear what you want to hear what you're saying, and they will hear what they want to hear rather than hear what you're actually trying to iterate and express. And it's frustrating. Sometimes it's frustrating, like explaining yourself and like you know and I just try my best to articulate myself in a way that is where people could get it. And I'm grateful for the people who do. I'm grateful for the people who want to help and want to support and are looking forward to helping and supporting me. I'm trying to push my content. But, and plus, for the people who are watching through the Truman Show, you can just search Nerisse and follow and like, comment and share because y'all know my name. You know my name. Just saying. Like, y'all don't have to follow these rules because we're all free. Just saying. But yeah. Anyway, thank you. I just want to say I want to make sure I highlight that because I know sometimes I can get into these rants and it's like, and it's easy to harp onto the negative things and like vent and rants about a thing. But I really want to make sure I highlight like and acknowledge that I know there's people who do support me, and I know there's people who do sympathize with my situation and empathize and want to see me win. I know there's people who actually want to see me like get to a space of independence and freedom and privacy. And I want to highlight and acknowledge and say thanks to that. Um, very much. And I look forward to like connecting and working with you all in the near future. And once we can break out the house. And make sure y'all stream Break Out the House, which is available on SoundCloud right now. Um, yeah, Break Out the House. Actually, yeah, there we go. Break Out the House is on SoundCloud for now until it will be on different platforms. I will keep y'all posted on when I am able to, have it on different places like social media, like TikTok and DSPs, the streaming platforms. So yeah, Stream Breaking Out the House, and um, Correspondence on SoundCloud, on my SoundCloud. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. If you're watching on Kick, forgot what the other platform was for a second. If you're watching on Kick, my links are in my panels. So check out the panels. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on my description. If you're watching through the Truman Show, search Narisse on YouTube, follow, subscribe, like, comment. Just support me directly. I mean, because y'all be watching anyway. Y'all want to watch the content. Like me or not, you want to watch. So might as well just watch on my platform and support and like and comment and subscribe and help me get monetized. Thank you. Thank you. Just saying. All right. But yeah, that I said everything I needed to say. Yeah. So again, check out Stream the Music, support the correspondence, and Breaking Out the House, which is available on SoundCloud right now. You know, it's for the inspirational upbeat vibes. And then yeah, and then I'll be posting content about the photos that I took for the cover art. Um and yeah, I'm really proud of it, and I hope y'all enjoy. Um what else was I gonna say? Yeah, that was it. Um I know I usually conclude with a prayer. Yeah, I'll conclude with a prayer. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I gotta play something more chill if we gonna do that. Hmm. Okay, I know what I'm gonna play. All right, anyway, this is an unreleased record that I worked on live stream. I literally pieced this song together. Well, I did some chord progression um stems and put it together. And then the end I'm playing guitar. But yeah, it's a record that I'm still writing to, but there's some dedications to some people who are important to me, or at least were important to me. Um, yeah, I think this is a good vibe to say the prayer to. So, God, thank you for all the blessings in my life, known and unknown. May you continue to bless me, continue to lead me on the path of righteousness, and continue to prosper me, uplift me, empower me in a way where I can do so for others just by existing, as well as with action and with my art and with music. May you keep my mind sharp, keep my mind clear, keep me quick to love and slow to hate. May you allow me to continue to grow to the best version of myself and align me with the people who see me for me, who appreciate me, appreciate my art, and allow my true audience and true fan base find my art when they need to. And hopefully it can inspire, uplift, and spark joy and understanding in their lives. And may you continue to work through me and allow me to be a blessing for others and keep me focused. May you ward away distractions, procrastinations, baits, anything that triggers me and allow me to be focused in being the best version of myself so I can show up in this world the way you see me and the way that you love me and the way that you look after me. And hopefully, in how I live my life, I can inspire the lives of others. Thank you. So it is, so it will be. Gratitude for what's been. Amen. I mean, Ashe. Thank you all so much for being a part of this live stream. I hope you all have a good night and stream the music, and I'll see you guys later. Follow me on TikTok and SoundCloud and IG, wherever you frequent social media and listen to music. Much love to y'all.